Hello Hattrickers, you are watching episode 106 of Let's Play Hattrick in San Marino with Untitled. In this week we start out by having a look-see what the scouts gave us live on stream last Sunday. Let's see what the scouts have for us this week. One 15-year-old, unfortunately, he looks like the least promising, Raffaele Martellini. Now we should select him and check see if there's something, perhaps a little surprise here. He's almost 16 years old. Which is not the best, not what you are hoping for at least. But on the other hand, he's not the most talented either, so perhaps it's better to just give him a quick try for either playmaking, scoring or defending at some point. Alright, perhaps not the best ever player to join the Academy of Untitled, but we'll see if there's anything to build on for Masanato anyway. Now, time for some transfer news. Since the last transfer update, we have sold Berenguelo for 8 million Danish kroner, and then we have brought in Makarios. And I want to take a closer look at the numbers on the Berenguelo sale. How much profit did we actually make on this deal? So let's take a closer look at the numbers in this deal. I've made the sheet to check up on the numbers involved in the training of Berenguelo. So back when we purchased Berenguelo, we purchased him for 3.825 million Danish kroner. And we've sold him after fees for 7.44 million Danish kroner. If we calculate the wages, 12 weeks of 46,320 and another 7 weeks of 56,280, that will add up to a total wages spent on Samuel Berenguelo to 9.49 million Danish kroner. The result for all the weeks are then 2.6652 million. And if we calculate the profit per week, we are down to 140,000 roughly. Is this satisfying? Well, if you consider a few things. Back in the inflated market before the closure of HTIL, I was aiming for around 1 million Danish kroner per week on a 100% wing training slot. Now, we have to factor in, for most of this period, Berenguelo was trained in a 50% playmaking training slot. The aim was actually to just sustain value, maybe gain a little, and he only trained for a few weeks for a 100% training slot in passing. So a profit of 140,000 kroner per week for a player that was brought in to help us gain some performance and perhaps a little profit is actually quite okay. So I'm quite satisfied with this. Could it be better? Certainly. But hopefully the 100% training for passing on the defenders we bring in will yield better results going forward. Now let's take a look at the new guy brought in the absence of Samuel Berenguelo. Right, so the new guy we've brought in is Orpheus Makarios, and supposedly he is supposed to be a candidate for the under-21's Cyprus national team in the future. He's magnificent defending, inadequate playmaking, and will be training his passing currently at weak. The inadequate scoring will be irrelevant for this guy going forward still. We've paid 4.79 million Danish kroner for this guy, but look at his price when he was pulled from the mother club back in season 14, 9.9 million Danish kroner. I am thinking we could definitely see some profit by popping this guy a few times in passing. So it will be interesting to see the sheet we just calculated for Berenguelo on Makarios when we get to sell him later in the process. Welcome to Orpheus Makarios. Hopefully he can help us a little on the pitch as well while we train him. Let's assign him a squad number and let's just award him with squad number 3. There we go, player number updated. In the senior training department, we saw so many pops in passing the first week. Francioni, Zanotti, Volokis, Sausage, Camilo Tovar, and Stewie Benton, as well as Yanni Ranti, all popping in passing. Let's just take a quick look at the training sheet to see all those nice pops. Obviously, this sheet is still containing Berenguelo. We will update it for next week, hopefully with a pop for the new man as well. But 9 out of 13 players popping this week. This is so nice to see. Mostly green in the TSI change tracking here, meaning most of the core players are moving up in form. Igor Becker still injured. We are crossing our fingers for him to be ready in the weekend matchup against the Nasty Dragons, because that is one of the most important matches of the season. Nice to see Zanotti and Francioni popping as well. Starting to look like well-rounded players here, I must say. HGMS above 2100 for Zanotti on the day of the training update. Looking good. For sure. In the training planner, we do have 10 weeks left of passing before we move on to playmaking in the next training stint. Slow and steady wins the race. At least that's what they say. In the academy, focus is still on Tommaso Benedetti in a race against time to finish his defending with the potential of solid before he's promoted in just 54 days. Time is ticking here. He should be around 5.6 at the moment. We are hoping for a little extra, but we are cutting it quite close with Benedetti in this one. Hopefully we can finish him because he might be a quite good sail, to be honest. Round 6 in the league was Botbashing against AS Serravalle, and we needed all the goals we could make while trying to pull up more team spirit, obviously, before the match against Nasty Dragons. A lot of braces for Volukis, Francioni and Sergio Lucas in this one, as we take an 8-0 win, no injuries, no cards. You cannot wish for more in a game like this. This means we are second in the league, ready to challenge the Nasty Dragons for the first place. We start at home against the Nasty Dragons, and yeah, what an interesting round coming up. Number 1 against number 2, Intercalvehel Nasty Dragons, and then Mickey B and Lokomotiv Ladindik facing each other in a battle for 3rd and 4th. We will know a lot more after the next round, and even more so after round 8 from these matchups. It'll be very interesting. I can't wait to get these matches played. Hopefully Igor Becker will be ready for the match. I noticed Sergio Capiccioni was actually injured in the midweek match, but he should be ready for the match in the weekend. So Nasty Dragons able to field the strongest starting 11 for sure. Hopefully we can match that with Igor Becker being on the field at kickoff as well. Things are starting to heat up a little, and I am thinking whether we should go for an actual promotion should we finish first this season. But before that, 2 very important matches against Nasty Dragons to play. Please cross your fingers this weekend for Intercalvehel, because we could move up to first if we take a win. That's all for this week's episode. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video if you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.